Hello, everybody. I'm Kendall, and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. I am here with my wonderful wife, Rachel. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So, hey, listen, Rachel, you're not always on camera. So.
I am never on camera. But my husband wants me to be on camera.
Yeah, at least a couple of times every so often, because you're always helping me with behind the scenes stuff, and so I figured having you on camera would be nice. Kind of like a morning show, or like a news show, similar to that, or little talk show things, So here we are in our humble abode, and today we wanted to share a little bit about our story about being writers, because you are also a writer.
Yes.
And I am too.
Yes. Well, I am. I'm a writer, but I came to it late.
Came to it late.
Yeah, I was a English major. But before I was an English major, I was a music major, and I just felt the Lord nudging me towards English. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be English teacher. But that didn't materialize. And I really tried to be a teacher. I really tried. But then I got sick, and the Lord gave me a story. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting in the bed, I'm sick, and I'm just, you know, when you're sick, it's really nothing to do but look at television. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm just writing. And I wrote 10 pages, and I was like, maybe this is something. And then I met Kendall. And Kendall was like, "Oh, you can write and you can self-publish," and so I was like,
one of our first dates.
Yes, it was yes, it was it was a self-publishing workshop just for me. I thought it would be multiple people, but I came to the coffee shop and it was a personal writer's tutorial on self-publishing, and I thought, well, if the Lord gives you we were just friends at the time too, right. So,
but of course, I was trying to, get to know her, and I already was very socially awkward, and I was also still trying to figure out my life, so it was a writing, and it was a writing and a date and a meeting date thing that I was trying to do, but it turned into a whole writing conference right there inside that Starbucks.
Right. He showed me the ways of KDB, and and then I wrote my first book, which was amazing for me because I'm dyslexic, and so that was it. It took a lot of convincing myself that I was just writing poetry, and that was actually a thing. So, yeah.
So that's your story, how you came to write.
That's how I came to saying, okay, this could be my next career.
Well, see, there you go. See, isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So, Kendall, how about you? How did you're the expert in writing. You taught me.
I am no expert, but I'm trying.
So, how did you come into the love of storytelling and writing?
So, I got into writing and storytelling because of my love for cartoons and comics. And many of you know that, right? Like, for me, looking at all those cartoons from the 80s and the 90s, I mean, even further back, like old school Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all the Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies cartoons, all the stuff, featuring Woody Woodpecker, but then coming up to, all those old cartoons like, Fantastic Max, James Bond Jr., Captain Bucky O'Hare, and then Sonic, and then Digimon and Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, and all those stories from our animation in America to anime and reading manga. I loved those kind of stories, and they made a difference for me. They helped me to feel like I was not alone. But it also was something that I believe that God used to reach me and impact me, which is why I'm where I'm at in my Christian walk, in my faith walk, right? And so I've always loved being able to tell stories. So when I was a boy, I would dream up and write up and draw even all these crazy wild sci-fi stories. Sometimes I would write stories that merged characters from like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and a Goofy movie and all these different cartoons. And that was kind of how I got my start in the world of writing. And then the Judy Blume books and a bunch of other books that I loved reading about. And
Super Fudge.
yes, Super Fudge.
That's
Yes,
my
Tales of
favorite.
Fourth Grade Nothing. All of that. Yes, and then those stories helped impact my love for writing and my love for reading. And then, of course, I was a big collector of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic books.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal for me, right? Like, so I had like boxes, stacks this high of Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and then as I got older, got into writing some of my own work and ended up in the world of journalism, which I was in. I guess I've been in the world of journalism for like 20 years.
20.
Writing, reporting. I've always loved telling stories. I believe that everyone has a story, so I love writing and interviewing people. But I also love writing fictional pieces, and so I'm big on middle grade, and I'm big on sci-fi, action, adventure, comedy, graphic novels, that kind of thing. So and right now we're in the middle of working on projects now, and so
Right.
that's how I got into the love for writing. And I remember when Diary from a Wimpy Kid dropped, because there was a period of time that I just stopped writing for a minute. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what kind of stories should I work on? And one of my first stories was about a boy and his best friends going storm chasing. And
Wow.
so that's
That's the story that I can't wait to come out.
yes,
I cannot wait.
it's like what? It's basically about 30,000 words now. I need to go ahead and get it out.
Right.
So,
I cannot wait for that to come out.
so we had another question too on writing. So how did we come to writing? I'm trying to remember what it was because we were planning this.
Oh my gosh.
So we're talking about how we got our start in writing, and
How does it feel to be writing, especially since you've been in the writing game for a long time? How do it feel to be writing every day
ooh,
and illustrating now because you're illustrating
I
as
love
well?
it. I absolutely love it. It's the thing for me is that I'm finally putting in the time to do the things that I love to do. That, however, comes with a whole lot of work and a whole lot of
Sacrifice.
yes, and a whole lot of creativity. And you've been so supportive. Yay! and so have a lot of family and friends of ours. And even I just dropped a video talking about how to handle doubters. And because you're gonna have people who doubt, and sometimes you're the one that's doubting, and so
Yeah.
you have to like
You
go
have
back
to
and remember, right?
Yeah, and which is so true because we both have you know, like with dyslexia, the whole thing about writing is like you don't think that that's a avenue for you,
When there's so many
and
others to have.
when so many others have like, but it's just a harder process. It
And
just takes a while because it took me 6 years to do my first book, and to go from that book and then even try to do another book, which I did. I did a poetry book
yep,
last year.
sure did.
It took a lot of am I good enough to be doing this? Is this a thing?
And by the way, we will leave links for you to be able to check out our books. So
Yeah.
that'd be good.
So and it just takes progressive time and perfection, and not perfection, like cut perfection. Perfection is what keeps you from doing the next thing.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Better hear her today.
The path of writing is not paved with perfection, but it is paved with editors. That's what you should get. Is a good editor. Like,
And don't
no perfectionism quenches creativity.
I want to say something to that too. And actually, I want to address two things because you mentioned the dyslexia. I totally forgot ADHD and autism right here.
Right.
So, and I just found out those things the better part of almost 3 years ago.
Right.
Probably 3 years ago now. And it really helped me to realize, oh wow, no wonder I tell stories in a certain kind of way, and no wonder stories and graphic novels and illustrations and comics and things like that really made a difference in my life because of how I process information, but also because of my love for storytelling, because it helps me to say the things that I otherwise would have trouble speaking out any other way. So I'm very
Right.
blessed that hey, even though we're both neurodivergent, that we're able to create content that can impact the world in such a unique and beautiful way and really encourage somebody else that's like, hey, I got dyslexia. Hey, I got ADHD. Hey, I'm autistic. But yet I can get out here and really just get out here and stake my claim in telling the stories that need to be told, telling my
Right.
stories and telling the stories that should be told. And then we have an awesome opportunity, being a black couple and being from the black perspective, the context from which we are in, because that's our context, right?
Right.
And then being Christians as well, which is also a context for us. And it's an opportunity for us to be able to impact the world in such a way that it impacts it. Well, it encourages and moves people forward. So yeah.
Right.
But I also want to say too, the editing thing, because you said something about editing. I'm
Editors
all
are
for, they're good. I love editors, but let me tell you, if I had this one opportunity where I was being edited so crazily, and they weren't even friendly about it. That it I had to leave. It was bad, and so yeah, it was one of them things where it was like, yeah, I've been doing this work for a really long time, but if you run into a situation where people are like, oh, your work is terrible,
overcorrection is not
overcorrection, yeah,
it's not the greatest.
which comes back to that perfection piece. So I thought I'm so
Yeah,
glad you said
perfectionist
that.
is not the path to creativity.
No,
The
no.
path of creativity is really more enduring and spending time with others. There is in I am and when I mean spending time, not overly spending time with others, because that will crush your creativity too, because you won't have time to create.
Right.
But
I'm
like
too busy partying.
right, but getting into the world, and also just not being encouraged, because you cannot be afraid of your viewpoint. You can't be afraid of what you think, and you can't be afraid to say it out loud, because when you say it out loud, it empowers a lot of people. So
Woo.
if you're going to write, keep you know keep that in mind,
Yes.
because your voice is speaking for a lot of people, not just to a lot of people. You're not just teaching
What you
them, but you're
say?
you're speaking up for them. And that's how I look at writing, because
Yeah.
going back to what you were saying, when you when in traumatic times, or in times where you find yourself not able to speak, writing is a powerful tool
It is.
to get a point through.
It's super therapeutic. Like it really blessed us because we have stories to tell,
We
right?
have a lot of stories
And we've been through some
of
stuff.
ups and downs
You know
and
what I mean?
dramas and
Right.
things. Yeah.
Like my whole thing is like trying to make time to like actually journal though.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, you get so busy with just everything that you're doing that like actually taking time to journal. And we could almost do a whole video on hey
Journaling is
journals
only
and pens and pencils. I'm kind of obsessed with pens, pencils, and journals and all things paper, and even digital. And it's like okay, I'm gonna buy like my whole thing is. And I used to get into this trouble all the time where it was like, I'm gonna buy the perfect journal, and I'm gonna start journaling, and I'm gonna buy the perfect pen, and I'm gonna start writing, I'm gonna journal,
perfection
and then before you,
is
you don't even do it.
perfection will kill all kinds of
All of that,
creativity.
you just sitting there going,
Right.
it's a collecting dust.
Creativity is really the where you put your feelings. Like you put it there. That's where you're supposed to put your feelings.
Yep,
You put it there, not on other people. You put your feelings on the page or in your art or in your dance or whatever you're doing artistically, musically, in your prayers or as you journal. But do
absolutely.
not put your feelings don't not all of your feelings don't have to go on other people.
In other words, you don't have to yell and cuss and
Yeah.
fuss at folks. The best part is that you can you can put it on paper,
Put it on
put it
paper.
on a journal. I got journal. I got like a box right now full of journals. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but because when I wrote them during a period of time that I was really going through some things and really dealing with some thoughts and just with a mindset that was really in a unusual place. It wasn't all negative, but there were some things said and I said to myself, huh, I might burn these. But I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, in fact, I should really go through them because they're reminders, right? You look back
Right.
and they're like a reminder of, man, this is how far the Lord brought me, and
Right.
this is how much happier I am now. We've been married for what 7 years,
Yes.
and it's awesome. I love it. And there was a time when, and I think I said it on one of my other videos where I'm glad. At first, I kind of regretted that I didn't start doing YouTube at first,
Mm-hmm.
or even some of my writing earlier, like in my 20s and 30s. But then at the same time, I don't really regret it because of the fact that it gave me a chance to get some things together before I got on camera. And it
Right.
gave me a chance to get some things in my life together before I got published. Because if the wrong thing, the wrong thing, not thing, the wrong thing, ended up on paper, it would just,
If you're a writer, keep writing. Just when if you come to this, use your feelings to move it through,
also,
and don't be discouraged.
and
It's
tell,
a road, but don't be discouraged.
tell people what you're working on.
Oh, well, right now I am simultaneously I'm working on one short story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I guess I should say names. The short story
Well,
is
you can just say the short story and then that's it. Like,
yeah.
you don't have to drop a name yet.
Okay, I don't have to have a title. So
But it might
I'm
change
working on
between now
one.
and later.
It could. Um, I'm working on one short story. I'm working on a poetry book and a cookbook. I know that's three, but it's just all of them. I mean, it all came to me, and I just started writing, and it's a process. Cookbook, especially, um, even though I've been uh, a cook, and I have recipes and
She
stuff like
she
that.
has a chef background.
I it's a process that I see why people have multiple people to help them do it, because it's a long journey. Like it's all up in here. Yeah, you have to write all of it down and take pictures and all that kind of stuff.
It's a whole thing.
So it's a whole thing. So that's the cookbook is probably not coming until next year, but hopefully, short story poetry I'm not gonna put a date on it.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
But that's what I'm working on.
I'm working on a couple of things. One, I am hopefully going to have Weather Tracks, which is the name of that book about the kids storm chasing and all that good stuff. Hopefully I'll have that out very soon. I won't put a date on it, but know this. I've been working on it for years, and it's high time it came out. And then I'm hoping to get out another book here very soon that will be kind of a novel based off of my comic strip, By and By. And By and By, my comic strip is about an 11-year-old boy on the autism spectrum trying to survive middle school and life. And so I'm looking forward to that. So it's going to be fun.
Yay.
Yeah. Woo. All right, you all. Thank y'all for being on with us and for sitting with us. Certainly hope that you've gone ahead and get that dream, whether it's writing or whether it's whatever that you're feeling led and called to do. And certainly we hope that you support us here on the channel. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.